This is a number of my companies. I'm the chairman of some other biotechnology companies or health companies, some of which you're probably familiar with, ResApp Health. And I was a founder of Oxford Medical and co-founder of Imaging Limited, which I think is capped at about $1.7 billion right now. So I've had some success with various companies that I've chosen to be associated with. And Nutritional Growth Solutions is certainly one that I'm founding chairman and took that to an IPO in October last year. It's led by Liron Fendel, and it's actually an Israeli company. So she's based in Tel Aviv, and she's a corporate lawyer. She's excellent to work with and really successful in her own right. And we have Professor Renan Shamir, MD. He's also the co-founder of the company, and it's largely based on his work. He's at the major children's hospital in Israel, and that's where the technology was founded. Anton Yavarov is with me here in Perth. He and I co-founded Neuroscientific Biopharmaceuticals together. I was chairman of that, recently stepped off though, and Kaner and Amir are both in Israel. Next. So we're creating scientifically formulated nutritional snacks, and that's effectively, we're a marketing play. We've got a number of products that we've developed. Some are already on market, others are in the process of coming on market, and it's all about achieving the optimal height for children. And it works. This is clinically proven products. I'll get into that in a moment. Next slide. We have actually, you know what? I think we actually skipped the slide for some reason. Damn it. I don't know why that happened. I can see it's actually crossed off here. I was going to show you the market cap, but I wanted to mention there, I can't show you the slide, but as Tim said, we're about 20 million market cap, but we've actually got, we did a capital raise of $5 million only earlier this month. So we've got about $7 million in the bank. We're well funded. I just wanted to make sure I got that message across. In terms of the clinical study, it's very important that this slide here, in fact, it's the most important slide in the whole deck. And it actually shows the actual efficacy that we gained in this product. So we're talking about kids who are generally shorter. There were 200 children in this study, and you can see that the kids who were taking healthy height grew on average between 14 and 34%. It was actually about an average of 30% increase in height over the placebo group, which is a phenomenal outcome. And that's really what got me intrigued with this company from the beginning, that these kids are receiving the supplement and growing taller faster than the kids on the placebo. So this is a clinically proven product in a very, nutraceutical space. It's typically products that are all safe, but there's no claims of efficacy associated with any of them. And yet this is a product that's actually clinically proven. And that's certainly the main reason why I would be involved in this. Next. So they're unique. It's all scientifically formulated and clinically tested, patented. We're a marketing player. We're already in the US market. We've moved into Europe. We're moving into China. We're looking at moving into Australia now as well. We've got a range of products, and of course, most importantly, sales, and I'll get to the slides in a moment, but the sales are growing rapidly. So we're achieving record quarter-on-quarter sales today. Next. So recently we launched sales in China and Italy. In Italy, the first half years of sales just straight up was over $500,000 US. So that was a great launch into Italy. We've already now launched a new Healthy Height nutritional bar in North America. We'll see the sales come on from that. And also the new Grow Daily 10 Plus, targeting kids who are in the sort of pre-teen age group. That's just been launched. So we're growing a suite of products, which is really important. Just recently, we announced a Chemist Warehouse distribution agreement in China. That was a big announcement for us. And we're also moving our production of the product from the US to New Zealand for the Chinese market. So that's another key growth market for us. And we've also made these new appointments, which I'll talk about. Plus obviously the record half revenue, which we announced recently, and that was well received by the market. Next. So you can see that the sales is very important to us. They're growing quarter on quarter. The trend is certainly looking very good. We'll see what the next quarter produces. I'm certainly optimistic, but with the new channels and new markets that we're opening up into, I expect that we're going to continue outperform going forward, which is obviously going to be a major factor for investors because this company's sales growth is growing dramatically. And I should also say that we've got profit margins in excess of 50%. And we can do that because we're a premium product. We're clinically proven. So that's why we charge the premium. Next. So it's a large market opportunity. You can see everyone knows the infant formula space. It's pretty crowded. But we're in that sort of our own niche, really. It's the kids between the ages of 3 and 13 mostly. That's not a crowded space by any means. It's a great sweet spot for us, and that's why we're growing in that space and entering new markets. Next. This is a validation. The company in 2014 has sold its rights of Healthy Height, this unique formula that we have, for all of India to GlaxoSmithKline. It's actually sold presently under the Horlicks brand. I don't have any knowledge as to the actual sales figures because we sold the outright sales for 14 million Australian dollars. But we do know that the product is sold right throughout India, so it must be a high-selling product for the Horlicks brand. Next. So that's our portfolio. You can see we've got the daily shakes. It's targeted in the 3 to 9 year age group. That's the key one for us. The new products that we've just launched, being the snack bar and the Grow Daily, and also the everyday shake. So we're sort of building this suite of products that's going to allow us to continue to increase our sales. Next. In terms of the expanding sales channels, there's North America is the backbone for us. We're selling effectively through Amazon. That's where we're getting most of our sales, but we also, so that's online sales, but this new distribution agreement that we have with IMCO, which is a leading distributor to pharmacies, private pharmacies across the United States, that's just come online. So that's an important one for us. And we're going to see increased sales through physical sales channels, which is really important for me to not just be on the online sales, but actually physically be on the shelves. In China, the Tmall Global Flag Store is the one that we're selling online through. We've only just started that, but we've now also got a supply agreement with Chemist Warehouse, which was a tremendous coup for us. And they're not as big in China as they are in Australia, obviously, but Chemist Warehouse is a major growing brand in China, and they're now stocking our product on their shelves, and I'm sure that that's going to result in significant sales growth for us in China. In Europe, we only just started that sales in Italy, and it was a terrific first half revenue for us from a standing start into the Italian market. So that's been a good entry for us as well. Next. China is obviously the real focus for us at the moment. It's a tremendously huge market. They like these type of products. We've made some key appointments, as you can see, with Stephen Turner, Vicky Howe, and Linda Liu. These people have great connections into the Chinese market. We're leveraging off that. We are investing in our expansion to the Chinese market. That is going to hopefully pay tremendous dividend returns for us. And we are going all on in terms of putting ourselves into China. Part of that strategy is actually having the product which is manufactured in Ohio, but actually being manufactured and packaged in New Zealand. So with these sales that are going into China, you'll actually have a New Zealand one. Now, I would have liked to have seen an Australian packaging and manufactured here, but clearly, based on the geopolitical politics, that sort of idea got kiboshed. But New Zealand is still a great option for us. And I think it's going to be a tremendous entry into the Chinese market for us. And I think that's what investors should be looking forward to. Next. So we've got 3 pillars of growth strategy. Obviously, we've got our products. The products are expanding in terms of a platform of products. There's also a strategy behind that. Who's the biggest player in the nutraceutical space? It's actually Nestle. Nestle are huge, and they're very interested in this sort of space, and I'm certain they'll be very interested in what we're doing. So one day I would hope that we could look for a trade sale to the likes of a Nestle once we've actually established ourselves and show that we are gaining attraction with customers, then you become ripe for a takeover. So that's something we could be looking forward to at some point. It's obviously expanding into new territories and using new sales channels, obviously not just being just online, but also being available on the shelves as well in retail outlets. Next. So just finally, we're executing on this 3-pillar strategy. I've pretty much just described these points here, but clearly there are exciting new sales opportunities for us through the expansion into those new territories, new products, and also going into different sales channels. That's what a shareholder's money has been used for. And we're keen to actually deliver continuing strong returns for our shareholders. And next. I'd like to thank everyone for your time. And Tim, I would be happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Brian. That's really of interest. Can we go back a step? And there's a question here. Are there longer studies that confirm that the accelerated growth leads to resilient skeleton outcomes and no adverse findings? A really good question.
Yeah, look, it isn't a good question. It's not one I can actually answer with any great knowledge, because the clinical trial that we did was a 12-month study. So I have been asked regularly, what's going to be the effect long-term on children who are taking it greater than 12 months in terms of that. And I don't have the data. I'd like to think that these kids end up being taller than what they would otherwise destined to be. I can't answer that though, but certainly it is healthy for them and it does accelerate their growth.
And is there any lessons to be learned from the experiences of like A2 Milk and Bellamy's in terms of their pathway into China?
Look, we have actually got new staff that have that background, and so we're taking advice from them. I think the fact that they are Australian companies may in fact be the biggest problem with their entry into China, just because of the geopolitical thing, and I think we were smart to go for New Zealand. So I don't see any hurdles for us. We're not an Australian company. We are an Israeli company that happens to be listed on the ASX. So I think that we shouldn't see any roadblocks in front of us in terms of getting into China.
And you've got great gross margins and strong sales growth. What's the timeline to be cash flow positive, and what's kind of cash burn at the moment? That's a question.
Well, right now we could be cash flow positive if we chose to be. So, but we're not. The reason why we did that recent capital raise is because we are investing in marketing. That's what we are. So we're investing heavily in marketing so that we can grow those sales channels and performance. And I think that that's what's going to pay big dividends for us going forward. We do have strong margins, which is important to us. But, at some point, I expect it will be a dividend paying company. I mean, maybe within the next year or two. But, I never know. I mean, I'd like to think that some big suitor would come along and take us out before we even have the opportunity to pay a dividend. That would certainly be good for my exit.
Sounds like a good exit. And the sales channels into China, can you give us a bit more color on that? Are they the likes of Alibaba and those big platforms?
Well, we're actually using Tmall Global, which is equivalent to Alibaba. And obviously we've just announced the sales through Chemist Warehouse. So we've got that two-pronged strategy. And we also have an influencer campaign. There's a kid who's actually an influencer in the Chinese market. He's been memed, his meme has been shared more than 1 billion times. So he's actually become the face of the company in China. So there's a three-pronged strategy with the influencers, the online sales, and also now into physical sales. And that's what we think is going to get us the success in China.
And finally, when do you expect those Chinese sales to kind of start?
They should be starting this quarter. So we should be seeing performance on that in the first quarter of next calendar year.